Assalamu alaikum and good morning to you, my dear friends. I am yours truly, Mahantji, Dr. Balliram Chadee, and you are tuned in to our weekly educational segment entitled The Beauty of Knowing. On behalf of the sponsors for 2014 in Canada and around the world who made a contribution, let me first of all thank you very much. I would like to discuss a topic about weddings this morning and the pre-arrangements for wedding ceremonies that was brought forward. The question was, why do many times our Hindu community, and we'll restrict it to the Hindu community, why does our Hindu community book a wedding, make all prior arrangement, the social side, the reception, the bands, the musical arrangements, everything else, when it's all solid and sealed, then we come to a pandit to book the religious aspect. Now, sometimes these educational segments may be sensitive and some people are offended, but a fact is a fact, and nobody should be offended by a statement of fact. So I can only tell you as it is. I don't sugarcoat anything. It is the reality of the situation. Now, here's the story. Many of us, because of the argument is, well, we have to get the banquet hall and we have to book the band and we have to book the DJ and we have to book this and we have to book that. That's fine. We understand we live in a competitive world and those are requirements that we must honor. However, when you make all those arrangements, it is all good. But when you come to a pandit second and ask to book a date, now, you're not asking the pandit. In many cases, and we all know because we talk, my colleagues and I talk around US, Trinidad, Canada, even in India, it's the same story. When you book a date for everything else, then you basically coming and asking the pandit to book you for that date. You're not asking him if that date is conducive to a religious sacrifice, a religious sacrament, a religious ritual. Here's a problem with that. Many times, people come to us, all of us religious practitioners, and ask to book a date for a function. It is our job to advise. We cannot dictate. It is our job to advise and tell you this date is good for this purpose or this date is not good for that purpose based on astrological dictates that we have annually. You could either choose to follow it or you can choose not to follow it. Many times we have mixture of both. My dear friends, let me make it absolutely clear. The sin of doing something in the wrong time, in the wrong moment, for the wrong reason falls directly on you. If your practitioner has advised you correctly, he or she is clear of any sins, because they have followed the tenets to pursue instructing you what is correct. We have this argument all the time. Well, I went by the pandit and he said, yeah, I could do it. Any of my colleagues would advise you on correct things, and it's up to you to pursue or not to pursue. Many times I've been told after the fact, well, the pandit said it's okay, I can do this, and the pandit told me to do it, and my friends, I can't speak for anybody else. So when you call me and I have to answer your questions, share my opinion with you, it's difficult to contradict somebody because I wasn't privy to their conversation or their instructions to you. What I can tell you, however, is this. If you're planning a function, wedding, engagements, pujas, mundan sanskars, janev sanskars, whatever, there is religious dictates in our annual patra or panchang that tells us when it should be done. Correctly, correct time, and correct moment when it should be done. That's the first priority, to find out those things before making any arrangement. Once you get it, if it's convenient to you, then you're locked out. If it's not convenient to you, you have two choices. You could either make the wrong decision to pursue it because everything else is working in your favor and not the religious side, or you change everything else to suit the religious side. Or you go, ignore those two choices, and you make a third choice, which is not really a factor in the equation, which some people do. So while I cannot do the wedding religiously when I want to do it, so I will just do a small private ceremony to honor a good time, and then do my religious ceremony, taking the risk that it is or it isn't the best time because of convenience or family visitation or whatever. Many of us, my friends, have limitations. We have obstacles to deal with. We have family sickness. We have people who are dying. We want to rush a wedding. In many cases, there are other personal situations which we cannot discuss on TV. But we have to advise and help and work with people. The situation is what it is. So as I summarize this for you, my point to you is, when you're planning your wedding, please consult if you want to do a wedding. Otherwise, don't say you want to do a religious wedding, you want to do a traditional wedding, you want to do a Hindu wedding. When truth and in fact is, in all of your arrangements, your Hindu religious doctrines take this much. You get 10% of the priority. Everything else gets 90% of the priority. You would have gone to a wedding, all the arrangements are made, and the Hindu priest, the pandit, walk into a maro or mandap, and nothing is prepared. But everything else, from the arrangements of the hall, the food, the arrangements, the family, everything is tipped up. A1, number one, as we say. You walk in, we sit down, and nothing is prepared in a mandap or maro. That is where the sanctity of your hall becomes number one. That is where you're inviting the presence of God to witness your marriage ceremony. That is where two shall become one, as we say. My friends, revisit, rethink. Speak to your pandits, speak to your imams, your preachers, whoever it is. Understand what is required. A Hindu wedding is a very sacred sacrament. It must be honored for the right reason. If I can ever help anybody off this program, my number is on the screen. Please call me. I hope these few words of wisdom will help guide and protect you as you enter your wonderful next stage of life. For the beauty of knowing, I am Mahantji Dr. Balliram Chadee. Jai Sitaram.